Yeah. Yeah, we gotta talk about it. I feel
It's
like we have
sad.
as a commentary, we're obligated to talk about certain topics. This was a really big one this week, so it's like really hard to like stray away from it. But earlier this week, officials have confirmed that multiple people have been reported deceased following an active shooter incident at Robb Elementary School in Texas. It was initially reported that several children were confirmed dead and several others reported injured and transferred to local hospitals. It's now been reported that 19 students and 2 teachers has passed away, making this the deadliest school shooting since Sandy Hook. We have now had 212 mass shootings in America this year. 212.
212.
212
mass shootings in 2022.
In 2022, what I said, 2021?
No, it says this year. Like
this year.
2022. Really?
Yes. Over 200 mass shootings. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, I'll look it up.
It's crazy. We've only heard about maybe 4.
Right. I vetted it, so it's
right. I'm just like,
multiple sources have said that.
No, seriously, I'm sitting here like, that's crazy. Right. I'm looking at the list. I'm looking at the list of the shootings, and I'm just like, this is crazy. This is only what, the 177 a day.
Yeah.
The year.
Yes. We're like almost halfway through the year. You should say.
That's kind of crazy. It's literally like the last one was in Buffalo, right? And that was on May 14th. It hadn't even been a full 2 weeks before the next one. This is crazy.
And we got Republicans gaslighting citizens into believing that this is not a gun issue. Let's get into it. A lot of people saying, mental illness is the problem. Mental illness is mental illness. We're not addressing.
If we're going to be talking about mental illness, they're going to be rounding up 70% of the population. Okay, we are all suffering from some form of mental illness or mental ailment. It's really, what's really pissing me off now is that these politicians get into this. These thoughts and prayers they don't matter to deceased children. Your thoughts and prayers don't matter. Y'all out here trying to, and my brain's like, okay, well, so y'all will stop people from having abortions so they can have more children. Why? So they can shoot the schools, or so that these deranged people can kill them? Like, it doesn't make any sense. If y'all are so pro-life, this is to our conservative people out there, to all these conservative Republicans who, the Second Amendment, it's our right to bear arms. Yes, but you don't need assault rifles. You don't need assault weapons. This idea that the government is going to take over the people and be at your door, you need to be able to have militia-grade artillery in your home is absolutely crazy to me. And I feel like it's like cause and effect. It's like, okay, well, you got all these guns on the street, all these military-grade guns on the street. At some point, the government is going to have to step in.
Yes.
The very thing that y'all are trying to avoid, you're perpetuating it.
Oh, but let's talk about why there a lot of Republicans are,
because the NRA is
they got y'all in shackles. They got y'all in shackles because let's be clear. NRA is like one of the Republicans' biggest donors when it comes to campaign money.
The Democrats need to end the filibuster immediately. End the filibuster while you can. We got midterm elections coming up. End the filibuster and get us some gun law reform. Get these guns off the streets. We're not saying strip everybody of their personal handguns or whatever. A handgun that you can shoot, you have to shoot one bullet at a time. If that's what you need to protect your house, that's fine. But these automatic assault rifles do not need to be in the hands of the public. Those are the weapons we're supposed to be using over there. We're supposed to be using those in the wars. They're not supposed to be on the streets. And all this stuff about we have the right to bear arms. Okay, well, we make amendments to laws all the time. I don't understand. And I guess after seeing the insurrection,
Mm-hmm.
like in my brain, I was like, if that wasn't a moment, this is the moment now. You need to start sweeping and getting these guns off the street because y'all do the wrong thing. Biden gets reelected or whatever. And these people decide to rise up and really do real damage and like take to the streets and shit like that. These are going to be the people that's going to be shooting up our houses and shooting up our neighborhoods.
We already got Trump talk about some, there's going to be a civil war or some shit like that. I'm like, what?
Like, listen, it's
all of this is happening and the government is not prepared for this. And I'm not trying to sit there and come for Democrats as well.
They did nothing
being a little bit too nice, but
right, the Democrats, this oh my God. Like in the filibuster, immediate gun law reform.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I liked that. I mean, it wasn't real, but I think I saw it on it was like an episode of like Law and Order or something where this boy went to school to shoot up the school or whatever. I guess they caught him or whatever. And they ended up charging the parent because the parent bought the gun and bought the bullets, right? Because hunting is part of their culture. It's a culture. It's protecting their culture. Hunting people is not part of your culture, honey. Yeah. Well, maybe if you're Caucasian, that is part of your heritage. It is definitely part of your heritage. But I think at this stage of the game, with all of this stuff that's happening, I'm still looking at this list of mass shootings and looking like there were multiple ones in a day. Like there was one in California and there was one in Houston on the 15th, right? The day before that, it was the shooting in Buffalo. Like the day before that, it was a mass shooting in Milwaukee. In April, there was an attack in Brooklyn. The 3rd, Sacramento. I'm just like, this.
And at some point,
this is the new pandemic. The new pandemic comes with bullets.
Yes,
we ain't dodging COVID. We dodging bullets.
Our elected officials, the conservative ones, you're worried about banning books and critical race theory being taught in class and Roe v. Wade and all the whole thing with the abortion stuff. Like y'all worried about the wrong things and people are literally dying. For the governor to sit there and have a town hall talking about, oh, it could have been worse. It is worse. I mean, how worse could it have been? We lost 19 kids. 19 kids, 2 teachers.
Mm-hmm. Guns are still guns are the leading cause of death of American children.
Mm-hmm.
And that is terrifying. It's terrifying. So now I was like, I hope that the Democrats use this as pushback when it comes to the Roe versus Wade situation. It's like y'all are talking about y'all are pro-life until lives are being lost. And they need to be held accountable. And that also means that the citizens have to be more proactive. We literally have to get these people out of office, get them out of there. The ones that are just sitting and giving platitudes, get out of there. You got to get out of there. We need strong leadership. We need decisive leadership. We need people in the House and in the Senate that are going to stand up to these big donors and say, listen, now I'll take your money, but one thing I'm not wavering on are these things, right? Yeah. The fundamentals of our democracy are not up for debate, right? The protection of our children, our living children, like the people, the children that have been birthed and breathe, okay, and have to be fed and taken care of and have to go to doctor visits and have to be put in school, the living children. I ain't talking about the little fetal tissue that could at any moment become a tumor. I'm talking about the living, breathing children that we have to send outside of our homes every day and trust that they're going to come back home from school safe. Yeah. Like, see, this is why I can't run for office. They'd be mad at me.
It's getting worse, and I don't want to sound like too pessimistic or whatever, but it's not going to stop. If we're going to keep going the same route that we're going now, it's going to be more shootings. There's going to be more situations. We're at a point. I was listening to the Grapevine. They had like their little panel discussion, and what got me was how somebody was like, it was one person that said, it's literally because we're so divided and we're in our own little you know, because of COVID is also we're in our own little bubbles and we're off to our own devices and we believe this and we're so like divided to the point where we've become radical. You know, you could say that it's mostly white people doing this, but I mean, it's walks of everyone. It is. I mean, this is a lot of these mass shootings have been diverse. You know, this person was Latin. Not sure if he was, you know, conservative or not, but you know, it's a real big problem. And I think that it starts with the guns. It starts with the, you know, stricter gun laws. The fact that it's easier to get a gun at 18 than it is to get a license.
Yeah.
We're not doing any background checks. No background checks. You get a background check for work, but you ain't gonna get nobody a background check for a gun. And and I don't believe the parents that sat there and was like, oh, well, the mom was like, oh, he never had a violent bone in his body. Honey, you know your child.
Right.
And you in denial, Miss Thang, you in denial.
Right. And then the kids, it's crazy to me that even the kids at the school were saying like, because you know how they try to spin the narrative when it's these kids. Oh,
we'll get into that.
He was being bullied. Like, baby, the kids like, he was not being bullied. He was trying to bully folks and they paid him dust and he got mad about it.
Oh.
He got aggravated because
it was so many narratives with him. Like even Candace Owens' stupid ass is talking about oh, well, no, this is a man wearing a dress and he was being bullied for that. And that's why talking about this picture that Boozy posted on Twitter, it was some other person, wasn't even the damn shooter wearing a dress.
I just want Candace Owens to shut up.
Like
why y'all can't tell her to stop talking? Everybody, no, you're right, freedom of speech. But anyway, it's not that I want people to stop talking. Some people just shouldn't be listened to at this point.
Yeah,
like, everybody's a talking head, but some of y'all just don't make no damn sense.
They don't.
She's one of those people.
I think somebody's paying her. She's been paid. You know, a lot of them are.
Got to be.
You got to be for saying some dumb shit like that. Like, are we not like doing our research now? She's definitely. I'm gonna give it to her. She's definitely smarter than that.
Is she?
She is. She's not dumb, but that was a dumb observation, child. We ain't not vetting pictures and stuff like that. That picture was really surfacing around on social media, and when you zoom in, all you got to do is zoom in. That's not the person,
right?
I'm like, y'all are crazy. Y'all trying to fit all these narratives. Then the other narrative that he wasn't a citizen. He came across the border. This is what we talk about: stricter border law. Oh, child. Trying to find everything else. You heard Ted Cruz. One of the reporters, I think it was a British reporter, was like, you know, why does this only happen to your country? Yeah, I guess he got offended by that.
Why does this only happen in your country or in your state?
Well, he said your country. I mean, because mass shootings do happen like around the country.
America. Oh, I was looking at a chart last night about this, and it's like America has the most weapons of any country in the world by 400%. Why the fuck do we need all these weapons anyway? It's like all the crazy people got guns. That'd be my first. Well, I ain't gonna say that because I can bust back too. But me busting back is to protect myself from that. And I feel like if everybody think everybody crazy and everybody's trying to protect themselves from that, like whatever happened to fist fighting? Like y'all niggas scared to square up. And I'm not promoting violence. I'm just saying, like whatever happened to like just square up in the streets, get your licks in, get that aggression off, and then move on. Like
I mean, but this was so bizarre. He went to
like out here killing people.
Yeah. I mean, out here killing people that don't have nothing to do with like the elementary school kids. Like you a whole high schooler.
Right. What I got to do with it?
What I
like,
it's really, and it's also sad when you think about it, because it's like, you know, these parents, there's still parents waiting to figure out what's going on if their child survived or not. Like, what the hell happened? And what the hell happened the day of? Because the cops, I heard y'all was out there chilling, not doing shit.
For 40 minutes. And they say some of the cops actually went in the school to get their kids.
Oh, I'm gonna get mine first. Hold on.
And then came out and waited. They said it was like 40 to 90 minutes waiting while the active shooting was going on. It's like, so y'all police officers, y'all scared to go in there and get shot. Y'all also protect and serve, right? But if it was an unarmed black man or unarmed black woman, you're gonna kill them. But these mass shooters, crazy enough, these mass shooters always seem to somehow get arrested, detained. They get to go to trial, and we get to see them be made human, and we have to hear their life stories. Because I don't care. Lock them up.
Yeah.
The gun was on them. They shot at the people. What else do we have to discuss here? They deserve a fair trial, a trial by fire. Send their ass on into the pokey.
Now,
get them the mental evaluation they need. If they are mentally disturbed, which I'm pretty sure you have to be a little touched to take a AR-15 and shoot up a school of kids, something's wrong. They are a few fries short of a Happy Meal.
Yeah, they ended up getting him, but I think it wasn't the police. I think it was the SWAT. But you know, even that, like they killed him, but they didn't kill the person at Buffalo. Like, it's weird. It's you know, it's very weird. This country is very weird. I was definitely looking up, like, child, what's the cost of living in Toronto, child? I'm about to abandon ship, and you're hearing it from me. We about to be based in Canada, okay?
That's fine. I got my passport. I can perform up there.
Okay. Because, like, at this point, like, what else can we do? Because obviously things are not going to change. The NRA is going to have shackles on these damn Republicans. You know, the Democrats are going to continue to be
lame ducks,
mindless. But, like, damn, what is your plan? And you know, Joe Biden, not Joe Biden,
not Joe Biden, the president, child.
Joe Biden, sitting there talking all that stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, what we doing? What's up?
We're going to create a special task force that will be able to look at the data to determine the such and such. Baby, listen, I feel like at this point we need common sense leadership. Like, okay. I feel like now on the left, it's becoming like intellectual Olympics where everybody wants to be like experts and geniuses about all this other stuff, and why we should listen to them because they're so highly educated. And I believe that education is key. I also believe trusting people who have done the work and done the research. But we also need people in the room that have common sense. Common sense. We need common sense reform. We need common sense reform on the industrial prison complex in America. And I have to remind myself and others all the time that this is this country. Okay, we have to remember where we are and how it was founded. Everybody want to talk about the forefathers and the founding principles and how we have to protect it. This country was founded and deeply rooted in imperial, capitalistic, white, patriarchal supremacy. Those things are enshrined in our laws. They're enshrined in our society. And though we are trying to maneuver around it to be more inclusive and to make this place safer and more equitable, until that is destroyed, we're never going to be the progressive nation that we boast to be to these other nations. And I think that what we're seeing is the reaction to that reality is that, yes, there are laws and there are people who are fighting to break down that particular system. And these people who hold those things that I listed very dear, they're reacting in a way that is much more violent than how the people who want to see America progress are acting. We're always told to be docile and that, you know, nonviolence is the answer. And, you know, we've got to end the bloodshed. Like, these people are fucking crazy. And they are willing to kill for these ideals. What are y'all missing? They're willing to kill people to protect imperialistic, capital, patriarchal white supremacy. They're willing to kill people for it, right? So what that tells me is they're willing to die for it.
Yeah.
So get rid of them. What's the problem, Stevie?
And that's that on that.
I'm just saying.
That is it.
Look, everything for everybody. And sometimes, okay.
What Dr. Omar say? Some people got to go for good. Let me.
Baby, it's a chop.
It is a chop, child. Okay, but I do want to send prayers to the families that have lost their children, and to anyone who has, you know, had, you know, because this affected a lot of people. Like this, a lot of people. I think it's just like because it's happening so much and people are starting to get scared. Like, you know, I got cousins and that go to elementary school, and I have 2 godchildren, child. Like, I'm really scared for them out here. Like, it's really gonna be scary.
It's traumatizing. It is traumatizing. It's horrifying. It's just horrifying. I'm so glad I don't have kids, but I have nieces and nephews that are school age. And I'm like, I cannot imagine what these parents and these family members are going through right now. I would be totally distraught and pissed off. Like, y'all are literally killing our kids while also trying to demand that people bring more babies into this madness. Literally trying to tell people they have to.
And then trying to get rid of contraceptives, I'm hearing. I'm like, well, damn.
What? Like, are they trying to, like, we're at a shortage? Well, if y'all are at a shortage for children, you may want to start looking at the ways that they're out here dying.
And then they running out of Similac and formula and stuff. So it's like, what do y'all want to do? What do y'all want to
do? This is so ghetto.
This is a third world country, and you're hearing it from me. Like Trump said back in that boardroom, it's shithole country. This is the shithole country that he's talking about.
We are the shiniest, most glittering piece of shit. I know this is probably gonna come back to haunt me, but I said it and I mean it. And I think that there's so much promise in our country. And I just feel like all of the good things. So we want to highlight that and stay optimistic and focus on hope for the future, that things will get better. That hope doesn't mean anything if we're inactive in it, right? It's just like the thoughts and prayers. Like, that's good for you. That makes you feel better when you say, oh my God, I'm thinking about them and I'm going to pray for them.
Oh, you're my thoughts and prayers.
You're my thoughts and prayers, and let the Lord intervene and all these things. No, sweetheart, we need action. We need people that are willing to stand up and speak, stand up and change these laws, stand up and say, get these guns off the street. We need people that are willing to sign these bills, people that are willing to go down to their state legislature. If y'all gonna storm the Capitol for something, storm the Capitol and demand that they get a hold of the things that are taking us out of here. If you're gonna storm it for anything, don't be storming the Capitol, no fake like shit that don't matter and that there's no data to support what you're saying. Storm the Capitol and demand that we get real protections, protecting our privacy, protecting our children, okay, protecting the best interests of American citizens. Go storm the Capitol for that, okay? And it doesn't have to be a violent thing, but there's strength in numbers. And like, I hope to see with all the things in all these states that are trying to restrict and suppress voting, I hope that we see the largest boom of votes that we haven't seen since 2018. Every year, the numbers get higher and higher of participation. And I hope this is just another record year, because this shit is out of control and we have to show up. Democracy is a practice of participation. We only get things done when we show up and let our voices be heard. I know there's so much going on in the world, and you got to work, and you got kids, and you got, you have elders in your family that you have to take care of, and you're trying to still navigate through this panini. But we have to show up to these polls. We have to hold our elected officials accountable. If they're not doing their jobs, get them out. And this is also a message to those of you who are millennials. When Whitney Houston said, I believe that children are the future, she was talking about us. Okay, we have to stand up and speak up more. We are probably one of the most passive generations since Generation X, and the generation before that was the silent generation. We cannot afford to be passive right now. We have to continue to show up. We have to continue to open our mouths. We have to continue to knock on those doors. We have to continue to make those posts that people don't want to talk about. We have to continue to be part of that conversation. And it can be overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. Right? But that is the world we live in. And if there are people who are willing to take up arms for an ideal and an idea they have in their head about what they want their country to be, we cannot afford to sit back and just watch it happen. We have to be informed and we have to be active. So make sure you're registered to vote, and we'll see you. All right. So now, because you got my blood pressure up.
Yeah, no, I had to sit back and let you speak, because I know you have good insight
now.
And Yeah.
Sometimes, like it's so sad. Like I'm trying not to cry because it's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad where we are right now. It's so sad, and we wanted it to be better, and we hoped that we be better. But the people ain't. It's us. It's us. It's us. It's not about blaming anybody. It's us. We have to be the change. We have to do it. We have to do it. Yeah.
We got to put our differences aside because this is not a race thing. Clearly, this is a us thing. This is a United States issue. Okay, we need to come together for this, and we'll just end on that. We can get to the mess at this point.